You need a modern PC. Times change, life gets busy, and a modern PC has the juice to keep up. With up to 200% faster performance, it's ready when you are, with almost instant power up and resume. And all-day battery life gives you freedom to roam. Get inspired with touch. There's no limits with an Intel-powered modern PC. And it looks as good as it performs. It's the way we live, only better. Modern PC at Harvey Norman. Thinner, lighter, faster. Get yours now.
Welcome to the place where the sea is blue, the sand is gold, there ain't any clouds to cover the sky, where the birds fly up and down. Oh, there's a lot to like about this town.
Come to life on the Sunshine Coast. Visit sunshinecoast.com.
Welcome everyone in Australia, New Zealand and around the world for our live streaming coverage of 2017 Opens Trans-Tasman, live as we say from the naturally refreshing Sunshine Coast Stadium, and brought to you by our great event partners Sunshine Coast Council, BLK and Harvey Norman. It's a relatively mild to cool temperature here, but perfect in terms of players' comfort. Wherever you are watching the live stream feed, settle back and enjoy the action. I'm Julian Buckmaster from Touch Football Australia, and joining me in commentary over the weekend is someone who needs no introduction to those in the know in the world of touch football, Steve Roberts, the former Australian Men's Open captain. And 2 years on, Steve, from that magic night in May, holding aloft the Touch World Cup. Tell us, Steve, just how you see this Trans-Tasman shaping up from here.
No, we've already seen some exciting touch from both teams, or all teams, I should say, and I can't say why it'll be any different today and tomorrow.
Certainly, you've been a very, very busy boy this week, mate. Away relieved of your Australian Men's Open duties now. Your current gig here, coaching the Japan Men's Open team, mate. They've progressed so far under your tutelage.
Yeah, they've come a long way. They're really developing this. They've still got those little mistakes in their game, but to be able to score quite a few tries against both Australia and New Zealand is quite promising, and sort of limiting the amount of tries that they're scoring now is also a promising sign. So. They're shooting for the bronze at the World Cup, and you never know, might even be a silver.
Well, they certainly won the hearts, and certainly a lot of plaudits here at Sunshine Coast Stadium this week, paying as part of the international series in Men's Open, the Test Status Men's Open games, and an invitation or a selection of Japan women's players and Australian Sunshine Coast Pineapples players as well. It's really just perfectly poised here today. Obviously, Australia out for the perfect start overnight with the mixed women's and men's successful against New Zealand. This, as you know well, Steve, this 9-game format over 3 divisions over 3 days, it sets up so well now, and it's very, very pivotal, this next match.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, New Zealand need to lift in all divisions to make sure that Australians don't clinch the series, but obviously Australia will be looking to wrap it up today and, go into tomorrow and try and take it out 3-0. But you never know. As you said, it's dry conditions out there today, and I think it'll be a sort of a fast-paced game, a lot of ball movement and things like that. We'll see plenty of tries scored today, I think.
Well, speaking of, Steve, we saw plenty of those last night, as you say, actually 15 of them, and it was only a 3-try deficit, Australia prevailing over New Zealand 9-6 in a pretty tight affair, and it's always come to be that certainly is the measure of these mixed open matches in Auckland last year, and certainly in Mudgee in 2014. Just so tight, these matches in the mixed open format, Steve.
Yeah, the teams are constantly changing each year. You know, both males and females are going up to the men's and the women's. So they've always got a new bunch of players coming through. So always keeps it tight. And as New Zealand come out now, they'll be looking to sort of turn the tables. And as I said, it was 3 tries in the end, but it was certainly closer than that yesterday.
And certainly that's a bit of a blow to the Australian team with their courageous captain, Cameron Nichols, breaking his collarbone last night, I believe. And very, very sad to see him go down, and naturally won't be playing for the rest of this weekend. That's got to give New Zealand some sort of edge or hope in this match here. Yeah,
definitely. Cameron does a lot of the hard stuff, the stuff that really goes unnoticed outside, but really appreciated within the team. Michael Singh leading the team out now has obviously taken the captain's role, so congratulations to him. But yeah, Cameron will definitely be missed, and not by New Zealand though.
Certainly with Michael Singh stepping up to the plate, he's had a wonderful start to the campaign, as most of the players have. Some of those trademark 30-metre left-to-right passes just really found the mark last night, Steve, and it looks as if certainly there's so much talent, that's coming through. In fact, 4 debutants into the mixed open team for Australia this year, and that certainly looking at Justin Costello, Tim Glazebrook, Jared Townsend and Jackson Mills are all coming into their own away from the under-19s and the provincial and alliance programs, and really they look very comfortable on this stage, it's fair to say.
Yeah, they're all fantastic players. I had big raps on Jared Townsend last night. He's been playing some good touch football over the last 12 months, and he's just continued that here. Also, the young fast player Jackson Mills, he's got some pace, and he showed that again last night. You mentioned Michael Singh with his passing, but that comes on the back of people putting it on the platter for him, and I'm sure we'll see that again today.
Certainly, we just see the Aussies in their warm-up routine, and obviously this New Zealand. What an outfit they are. Takari Wiramu leads the team, number 2 for New Zealand. We saw them in Auckland last year when we were commentating. We saw also some really key performance and some standouts, particularly from players like Mackenzie Hoare. He, for me, was just one of the ones that could actually turn the game and the series for them. He was only a bit denied, and once again, very, very tight in terms of the deficit between the teams.
Yeah, they're a fantastic player, Mackenzie, and the one thing about New Zealand, especially in the mix, is they're never out of it. Even if they might be down by a couple, they're always looking to come back, and that's certainly happened in the past. So it'll be very interesting to see how they come out here today.
I think it's also encouraging too, isn't it, Steve, to see a lot of these Kiwi players very familiar with the Australian conditions, playing for various teams and provinces around Australia and states, and a lot of those NTL teams that we've come to know and certainly admire their skills. They've just got so much sharpness and sublime skills around their passing and agility. Really interested to see just how exactly Daniel Morgan Patarangi, number 7 for New Zealand, is going to fare. He's actually moved to the Australia's nation's capital, would you believe, and playing for the Vikings club in Canberra under the tutelage of some very keen coaches there. And he's got some very, very big raps, and probably we'll see him in the Alliance program in Australia, yeah?
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. A bit warmer up here than in Canberra, so I think he'll enjoy these conditions a bit more than in the nation's capital.
Pardon me, Steve. So as we get, the scene is set here as the first game, and again, if they talk about the moving day in golf on a Saturday, the Saturday in a Trans-Tasman series is certainly series decider day. This is the pinnacle of the sport in the international sphere, and Australia and New Zealand absolutely the top of their tree, as Australia now will look to tap off, try to assert their dominance early. Paige Parker from half picks up Singh. Jaden Bembo, he'll be a key figure, won't he, Steve? It's fair to say.
Yeah, I think he'll step up and take Cameron's role in making sure everything's set up and orchestrated out there. We'll see how much homework New Zealand and Australia have done last night.
Down for Paige Parker. Paige Parker takes off, hits Pride, short again. A little bit of a gap in there for Michael Singh, but they're just a little bit tentative, Australia, at the moment. Michael Singh off his right, looking for that trademark left to right, but he's caught from half, but there's a penalty, in fact. New Zealand is just not retreating in time for the referee, and
yeah, I think he's caught him offside there, but I just said there was a massive gap for Michael Singh if Paige Parker had looked inside.
Australia set up again through Pride, Singh and Benbow again. these three in the middle certainly as the course of the day, and then with these other snipers like Lang and Jackson Mills coming in, along with Justin Costello, they've got some armoury, haven't they, Steve?
Definitely. It's strike power across the park, but a bit tentative at the beginning, I think, here Australia. But
they look to roll in, 10 out. It's a bit messy, that play of the ball, but again, Singh probably not the way he wanted, but that's a beautiful ball inside, and there you are, Jaden. I think it's Adam Pride. In fact, yes, it is. Adam Pride crosses for the first, and that's only, what's that, 18-20 to go. So they've really done very, very well, Australia, to open the account.
Yeah, quite a soft try, actually. Number 7, Danyan chasing in there, and a simple late cross just in the middle to stroll over for a try.
In terms of statements there, Steve, it's exactly what Australia needed, and the whole contingent across the mixed women's and men's. That's the sort of start you want on a Saturday if that's indeed what you're trying to do, and actually wrap up the series in the Women's Open later this afternoon.
Yeah,
Mackenzie
definitely.
Hoare again. Oh,
that's a good touch.
It's a very good ball from Mackenzie Hoare again. You have to watch that player. I'm sorry, that was E4 Jones, in fact, number 5. Throwing a left to right cut out there to the link, but just didn't handle it. Australia looked to make their way up to halfway. I really think that Townsend players like James Blackwood could actually come into their own a little bit in this game too, don't you think, Steve?
Yeah, they just look comfortable out there, just do their role, and they know what they have to do, and they just go about their business. Here goes Jared now.
Good start straight away. Now it
Good
looks
work.
like it's caught. Well, they might have a look.
There.
No, the referee's called it.
That's a good touch. But again, just going through quite easily, so it's a promising sign for Australia. It was actually a better set than I thought the opening set.
New Zealand look to work away into the interchange box, as we do, coming off their own line. Pretty neat transition, looks to me, coming off their line. They're charging hard through their captain, Wiramu.
Yeah, they're looking
Ben
to hit
Anderson.
back here. They needed to get it up the field. I was chasing a little bit there, created a bit of an opportunity, but
Keegan Harris looking to snipe on that short side once again, Steve. It's a real dangerous ploy and play, rather, from New Zealand, to the way that they look to just shape that late switch going back to the short side.
yeah, caught Langy just chasing in a little bit there, but he recovered all right, and luckily for Australia wasn't a great pass.
Well,
They've got a penalty here and a good opportunity for New Zealand to hit back now.
Yep. Luke McKenzie finds something in that ruck. Not sure what that was indeed, but certainly that puts New Zealand in a very firm footing to just come into the line. They'll be looking to strike back here pretty quickly. Mackenzie Hoare now into Keegan Harris again. Keegan Harris, he's a dangerous player. Party up front and business out the back. Or is it the reverse in this case?
I don't know.
Keegan Harris, short ball.
Oh, great touch, Paige Parker.
Very good touch. Came in nicely and just didn't overcommit, Steve.
Looking dangerous though there, Keegan.
Tim Glazebrook.
Both in his hair and attack.
Absolutely. Keegan Harris down now.
It's through.
Mark Hodgson away. Mark Hodgson gets the ball away. Oh, Luke McKenzie sees the touch, and it's fifth and last to New Zealand as they roll in. Oh, and I'll tell you what, if you look at that again, E4 Jones just seemed to slip through there and actually chose to pass instead of go himself.
Yeah. Just a few gaps there, and that's just a bit of a lazy pass there. Give New Zealand another opportunity.
This is uncharacteristic from the Aussies. It is something that I know that they will be very, very frustrated to give this quality New Zealand side this type of possession. Dangerous. Back to Hoare again. Speaking of dangerous, E4 Jones again, I'm sorry. Bailey Wardby again now.
Good touch.
That man Mountain, you see, number 11 from Australia, from South Australia, Tim Glazebrook. Congratulations, young man. It's a long-awaited debut in the national colours. Steve, it's well-deserved too, right?
Yeah, he's a very good
long
player.
ball, beautiful long ball. E4 Jones, that is a fantastic pass to Nicole Drummond out wide, number 3 for New Zealand, and they do exactly that, and that is the penalty for those uncharacteristic errors from Australia, but all credit to New Zealand. That's a beautifully shaped try.
Yeah, put themselves under pressure. Nicole Drummond's done very well on 2 accounts there when they scooped through before she got free, and then finishing off that try very well, very nicely then. So, they're going to put themselves under pressure. They've paid the price there. It's 1-1.
Australia now looking to hit back captain Michael Singh. We'll look to dip pretty deep with these players now. Adam Pride again. He'll play a key role from this point on, don't you think, Steve?
Yeah, definitely. And New Zealand just roll into the line a little bit there.
He's saying no touch. Oh, dear. Mark Hodson, I think, actually probably no. I think he would be arguing that toss, in fact, with the referee. But unfortunately, he's denied, but not so.
Yeah, no, referee calling ball down before the touch there. Not sure. A bit of a 50-50 call. Australia get the advantage on that one.
Seven minutes into Eful Jones again. 10 minutes out. Hits the captain. Whittamoo, a beautiful little switch there. Didn't quite pay off. Australians are up to it.
Looking dangerous on that middle dump. Just testing the Australian defence.
It's a fantastic ball, but unfortunately it's gone to the wrong player. Justin Costello, the recipient, and that is a 90-metre, I'm sorry, make that 60.
Just
60-metre effort.
Flicking the ball as he goes down there. He's got the biggest hands in the game, Justin Costello.
He did pluck that from the air, it's fair to say, Steve. That was a wonderful...
like a tennis ball.
It was indeed. Wonderful strike again there. Justin Costello, he'll take those any day of the week if you don't mind. Australia shoot out to a 3-1 lead.
Best off attacking the other side, not on Justin's side. He's known for taking an intercept and just showing it just there.
It was a hell of a ball, though. If it hits a New Zealand attacker, we're all locked up, Steve. Isn't it funny how this game can teeter?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the highest paced game as yet.
Really cat and mouse, isn't it?
That's right. I think they'll come into their own a little bit now. I think a bit of nerves early on. I think teams just sort of finding out how each other are going to play today, and then I think some tries are going to be scored.
Morgan Patarangi now trying to mix it up here. He's going to call that from half. Bit of a dispute there just to see if the guy was cleared from the ruck. But anyway, can Australia make it away into the interchange box? And it looks as if they will. Certainly some intent there from James Blackwood and Paige Parker trying to make their way.
Great drive from both of them.
Simon Lang again. Paige Parker to Lang. Speaking of threatening, watch those green boots today. And, again, Australia.
Bit of luck again there for Australia. Paige Parker's done very well there with James Blackwood driving up the field and then creating opportunity, and that draws the penalty. Here's Jackson Mill. Here's the pace man. He's got some pace to burn, this guy. Be a quickie for him, I'd say.
Jared Townsend will look back at the start of this game and wonder where his hands have absolutely left him. It's just a very uncharacteristic start.
Giving him the commentator's curse, I think. I've given him a big rap before the game. He's dropped a couple of balls.
You and I both, mate. New Zealand now work their way to the interchange and actually do a transition very nicely out from right to left. 20 metres out now, closing in on the line. Bailey Wardby into Gardner now. That's into, Parsons. Parsons away again. That looked clear, but it was a good touch. I think this time. Jared Townsend now. Simon Lang. Through Pride, they make the interchange, and Lang again. He's surging upfield, and so too the Aussies. Jackson Mills again with those fast feet. As Steve Roberts just said, Jaden Benbow. Those hands again. Beautiful switch inside from Costello into Benbow, but that's a pretty good set. A relieving set, you would have to say.
That's the best set, I think, from the Australia. But there's a great touch in the end there by the number 5, Aoife Jones, just dive in, making that touch. Australia looked very dangerous there.
And New Zealand would really like to get out of this interchange transition as much as possible and get into attacking position, as that's Ben Anderson going down there now. Once again, Keegan Harris from half, threatening good left foot step to the right, but Jaden Benbow equal to the task.
Great touch by Jaden there. They look promising again, driving into the line, but Australia equal to the task.
Australia making their way to the transition box again. They'll be pretty comfortable here, 9 minutes out from the half-time break. 3-1, two-try deficit. They'd like to keep it like that and more through the game. Australia now, here's Michael Singh, the captain. Pride again from half. He's causing all manner of headaches here. That ball looks clear and down.
Long loopy pass, but great finish there by Zara Nichols.
Zara Nichols should be very happy to get that try. The wingers are doing very, very well for Australia across all divisions. That 2-try deficit, Steve, now goes to 3. What's that do for this game?
Yeah, well, as I said, I don't think it's been the sharpest game, but Australia just sort of edging away and putting a lot of pressure on New Zealand to come back to keep the series alive.
New Zealand now, they'll really want to close that gap, certainly now. As it's Hodson into half. This interplay now with Morgan Patarangi threatening out to the left, looking for that quick dummy, play the ball, but again, that dummy almost balking from the Australian defence.
It's great shape there by Australia. Not allowing New Zealand to get in position. Here they go
Patarangi.
now.
Oh,
There's
dear.
another intercept.
These clean balls, as good as they are, James Blackwood's, he
Has
could
he got
be
enough
pegged.
pace?
I'm not sure if he does, Steve,
Yeah,
gets
he
to get
does,
there.
he does.
Blackwood crosses there. That's Australia's 5th. It's now 5-1 with 8 minutes to play in this first half.
That's got to hurt New Zealand.
Steve, here we are effectively at that halfway junction between World Cups 2015 and 2019 at Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. We see that the New Zealand system is looking very much at this tour as very much a development phase, but they've certainly, in terms of that, they've absolutely acquitted themselves well across all divisions. It was very, very tight in the women's, as it was mixed last night.
Yeah, there was, as you said, there's a lot of new players, a lot of fresh faces, and that have come through and doing a fantastic job as New Zealand come on the attack again. But yeah, they're obviously developing and looking towards the next World Cup. And that's a better pass.
That's a better pass, and that's clear. Oh, dear. Shame it didn't have a little bit less in terms of air there. Australia will try to make their way right on the try line. 7 minutes away from the break. But, yeah, certainly with the World Cup in mind, Australia would be very, very happy to get this one, potentially. So a long game. Too early to call, obviously, but to go with that four try and perhaps more buffer into the halftime break, it must leave the Australian sides with a fair bit of confidence.
Yeah, they'd have to, and they're running a lot better now too, I think. And here comes Jared.
Tim
Hopefully.
Glazebrook going down now. Jared Townsend threatening. Catherine Stevens out wide. Jared Townsend looks right, looks left. Goes right to left into Mortimer and into Lang. That's a beautiful take from Elian Mortimer. What a take. And then a quick release back into Simon Lang. Beautiful touch there, Steve.
Good long ball out wide. That's the experience of Lynn just there. Just catching nice and simple. Pops it back in there for Langy. And he strolls over for a nice, easy try. Make it 6-1.
That's the 6-1. The bat back we see a lot in men's open, but it's very, very accomplished to see a women's winger actually just being able to perfect that. Ordinarily, she'd be snapping those up to score, but that's a fantastic bat back there.
No, she's great skill there, shown by Lynn. She's done a fantastic job there, but here comes New
Anderson,
Zealand.
Keegan Harris, that's a wonderful ball, and it'll be paid, I think. That looks to be number 2 for Nicole Drummond. They're having a discussion, the referees, but there's a penalty. Perhaps it was the Aussies not retreating.
I think they must have called the pass forward, but there was no advantage for New Zealand, so they get the penalty.
Jumping in
The
close.
sideline referee said they were offside.
Tina Ashworth taps off in. They try to get some shape here again. The Kiwis through Mackenzie Hoare. Patarangi airborne, almost over the top.
Nice acrobatics there. It's surprising. It's good to see they're actually attacking the other side. They've tried to come down Australia's right-hand side defence, and you've seen a couple of intercepts as they come
Looking
through.
for that short side, and it's only, oh dear.
Diving touch.
Mackenzie Hoare, he's got some speed, hasn't he? Clever little interplay just to catch the link defence there, napping, Steve, but it just wasn't quite there. He has got some wheels.
Yeah, certainly he's fast and keeping James Blackwood very honest there.
Nicole Drummond from half. Mackenzie Hoare again, shifting it right, but Mark Hodson trying to get a little bit more space. Morgan Patarangi, beautiful ball again, but that intercept, it's there for the taking. Catherine Stevens, a little knockdown in defence. Bit of pressure relief for the Australians.
She did well there. If she misses that, it's a try.
Mackenzie Hoare and Morgan Patarangi. It's a dangerous combo, these two. Ooh. To the point, Luke Mackenzie likes that indeed. That will actually bring the deficit to 4. It's now 6-2. Wonderful try to New Zealand.
Yeah, they obviously needed that, New Zealand, and I think they look more dangerous when they're dumping on Australia's right-hand side and attacking it back the other way. obviously dummying to go the other side there and scoring underneath it, but getting the two boys out of play, dumping on the right-hand side there is they're looking more like they're going to score when they do that.
Looks as well part of the Australian tactics, Steve. Seem to be holding back certain players and just giving them some time to adjust into this match. Jackson Mills didn't come on till very late. Here's Paige Parker and Mills. Back inside to Paige Parker. She will never score an easier try.
She fell over the line. She's playing very well, Paige. She's had a good game so far.
Sydney heads used to be the term for a hole as wide as that. It was a beautiful little interplay in the middle. Jackson Mills shapes to the right and inside Paige Parker. She'll say, thank you very much in the interchange box there.
We've mentioned his pace, but that was good vision by Jackson Mills there. And Paige reenacts on the sideline her try, and as she just reenacted, she just fell over the line. One
of the key players in the Indigenous All-Stars too, Steve. It's really good to see Paige emerging through the systems in Queensland and on the national, international stage.
Yeah, definitely. She's been...
He's the captain. Diving low, and he's there. Let's just be very clear here. That was a wonderful little play.
Was that a bit of payback for the try given before, do you think, Julian?
Oh, could well be. We'll have to ask the officials that very question there, Steve. But it's Wuramu Takari, the captain, a wonderful try again, just keeping that scoreboard ticking, which is all important in these matches, and particularly the importance of this match.
If New Zealand going to be any chance, they need to hold them out here and get one more.
Quite agree. Simon Lang again, shaping for Mills, looking for that link to come in a little bit more so that they can start to shape either left or right to a long ball to Mortimer or the Opie Lukens. And Mortimer it is. There it is. The ref wants to have a bit of a look at this with his other official, but there you have it. Ellen Mortimer's having a little purple patch here in a couple of minutes. Luke McKenzie, the ref, says yes, the fireworks go off. Steve, what did you see?
Great long ball out to Jackson, and again the pace getting around his man, and then throwing a sharp long ball out to Lynn, who dives and scores. Again, lovely finish by Lynn. She's just really showing her experience.
Gee, she scored some games in this mixed open format for Australia. I think she's certainly gone over the 10 mark in Tasman Internationals as New Zealand now look to threaten. It's a beautiful long left to right ball to the winger, gratefully received. I think it's down. Yeah. New Zealand, what a strike backs do.
Wingers are going very well. They're finishing off the tries very nicely. And as I saw again, they go back to the Australians' left-hand side. They're looking more dangerous, but they've really got to start holding them out. Otherwise, the gap's just going to keep growing and growing and growing.
Paige Parker again. With that man, Captain Michael Singh again. Into Pride. Pride short ball now to Jaden Benbow. Once again, a yawning gap in between Lincoln wing, but it's fair to say didn't get much help from the inside defence.
No, you mentioned it before, Julian, about the strike power across the park with Australia, and that's just another example. They've got a lot of strings to their bow, and they're certainly using all of those and scoring at will now.
Well, Steve, we look at a 9-4 scoreline. That's usually our full-time scoreline. What sort of a second half are we going to have here?
More tries, I guess.
20 seconds to the break. I think we will.
I think the defensive coach needs to have a long, hard talk to them at half-time.
Absolutely. So New Zealand again through their captain. He's been valiant and a real leader for New Zealand. He's stretching out, sniping at every opportunity. Those very, very deft short balls inside. Here it is now with Mark Hodson. He's just gone straight through. Dummy and go, show and go. Luke McKenzie right on the spot. New Zealand will really, really relish that try, 9-5 at the break. Fantastic.
Yeah, bit of lack of communication at the end between the boys, and they gets an easy try. Just a dummy and strolls through, but obviously it goes without saying New Zealand needed that, and they need to start working on their defence and holding the Australians out because, as I said earlier, the Australians are scoring at will. You've got a Lynn there on shot with Paige both having two of them having a great half. So they'll look to capitalise again in the second half.
Tell you what, Steve, in a couple of minutes mark through that match, towards the end of that first half, Australia really had their tails up and a spring in their step. But I tell you, the New Zealand strike back has been very impressive, and it's I would think, probably a mighty effort that's going to come in the second half. certainly they won't let this game slip because they realise just how important it is in the context of the whole series.
Yeah, we said it before the game that they're never out of it. And, as you said, 9-5, 4-try deficit. It's not out of the question. Stranger things have happened. I know I've been involved in teams that have got beaten after being up by 4 or 5, especially in the semi-final. But it brings out a lot of heartache, I tell you that.
Absolutely.
But, they're going to have to work on their defence. It's just too easy for the Aussies just to score a try at the moment. And, to regain 4 tries, they really need to knuckle down and do the hard yards.
Would you believe Australia now are only 1 try away from reaching 400 tries against all countries since the Trans-Tasman series commenced in 1985, and only need 1 to reach 250 against New Zealand. It's been a real a breeding ground of talent for men's and women's players, Steve, over a long period of time. It's great to see the contingents working closer and closer now across the groups. And what we see now too is the emergence of those mixed players. That always has been the case, but you're actually starting to see it's very much the production line of the Australian Open's teams.
Yeah, very much so. I actually came through the mixed program as well. A lot of us do. So we use it as a bit of a stepping stone. So like we said before, it's it's hard for the mix because they chop and change their team each year. So the men's and women's, they normally get to build a lot of cohesion, but every time they go into camp each year, the mix, they've got new, fresh faces, and they have to work on that. And Mick Lovett's done a fantastic job with his team to bring the Aussie team together, playing some fantastic touch. But no doubt we'll see some of these young men and women come through and play men's and women's touch.
Coach Mick Lovett and certainly Dave Nolan and Justin Croton, the assistants, will be very well pleased, I think, with how they're performing, and the sun is now starting to come out at the appropriately named Sunshine Coast Stadium. It's actually going to be quite warm conditions, I would think, down there on the field, and you could only guess that Australia will now be feeling they've sufficiently warmed up and ready to try and pounce and put a real exclamation mark on this match. New Zealand on the other side of the field, and the fence, though, will certainly go down fighting. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, you can see the coach having a good, hard chat to them at the moment, making sure that they've got their systems in place, still not to go away with it. But I think the Aussies are going to be too good here. They're going to be a lot more relaxed coming out in their second half, and things will just flow. And they're going to get their milestone, and they'll certainly score a lot more than 1 try in the second half.
We'll be back after the break here shortly with some messages from our event partners, Sunshine Coast Council, Steve, and look forward to wherever you're watching this great live stream broadcast for a cracking second half.
Welcome to the place where the sea is blue, the sand is gold, there ain't any clouds to cover the sky, where the birds fly up and down. Oh, there's a lot to like about this town. So pull your hair like the sand, throw your hands in the air, wave them all around like you just don't care no more. Put a hat on your head, kick the shoes off your feet, dance all around to the Sunshine Coast beat. Oh.
Come to life on the Sunshine Coast. Visit sunshinecoast.com.
New Zealand look to make their way out from halfway now. It's Australia 9, New Zealand 5. Looking to go through Mackenzie Hoare and again back into Mark Hodson. Morgan Patarengi. Or again picks up Autumn Rain Stevens. Morgan Patarengi again into Mackenzie Hoare. Hodson looking threatening once more. Let's look to try to isolate the outside middle and the link, but the defence was certainly there. Simon Lang and Jaden Benbow read that very well.
Yeah, they had that lapse in concentration just before half-time, but they've obviously talked about it at half-time and made up for it there.
Benbow and Costello now making their way out. That's a great charge from Costello, in fact. Picks up Lang, and they've hit halfway in 3 touches, I would say. Jackson Mills now into Townsend.
That's a great follow-up set after defending that.
Yeah, wonderful. Puts him in great field position.
Jackson.
Great long ball to Jared Townsend. That is a try in between the two girls out wide.
Yeah, pretty easy finish there by Jared. I actually thought Jackson could have run then and gone through himself, but as it turns out, he made the right choice. Jared falls over for his first try today.
Congratulations, Australia Mixed. That's your 400th try against all countries and 250 against New Zealand Trans-Tasmans. It's New Zealand now make their way into the line. Keegan Harris. Mace Parsons gets splits through. Blackwood just stayed really heavy on his link, but it might be to his detriment, but that's okay. The ball, unfortunately, goes down for New Zealand. Really, really strong chance, though.
Yeah, just strolled through there, beating Michael Singh to the short side, but good defence out wide by James Blackwood and Alin, just holding their men, making sure that they didn't have a free play to score.
That's an interesting play here from Australia. Ordinarily, you would see them go to the interchange, but it was a great little shake and a fake to the left, and they've actually made some really, really good yards in the middle. There's Glazebrook now, down for Adam Pride. Picking up Jackson Mills. He'd be really looking to take off here. One of these two, and it's Pride. Beautiful on ball, but that's into a New Zealander out there wide. I think it could be Nicole Drummond. Oh, there's a bit of a collision. New Zealand look to make their way.
Getting a bit rough out there, Alin.
Even put a hand up to say it was me. New Zealand now making their way. They've got to strike back, and they've got to strike back quickly, Steve. Bailey Wardby. Wardby again going down. Here he goes. The man with the jet shoes, Mackenzie Hoare. Wardby looks to stroll through there, through Pride and Glazebrook, but the ref sees
And calling them offside there. They're going through the middle, trying to turn it back inside, trying to keep the find the one of the middles chasing in.
Aoife Jones now to Mackenzie Hoare. Hell of a duo, these two. They are really going to be. That's Aoife Jones there, sorry. Now into Bailey Wardby. Into Aoife Jones. Bailey Wardby. Long ball left. Just great defence out wide again.
Yeah, good play there. I think Bailey needed to pass that a little bit earlier. Would have been a bit more dangerous, but still looking sharp. Bailey here with Aoife.
Australians very cagey there off their line, just not overcommitting, not going out too fast. Now they will without a dummy half, that's for sure. Aoife Jones looks to slide, looks good. It's a touch by Luke McKenzie, or is he explaining that it wasn't a touch and it was a try? It's a lot of explaining.
Other way around, he's actually calling that he
did
touched
get
him. Yes.
Aoife Jones and Mackenzie Hoare perhaps suggesting otherwise, but here they go again. Look to get some shape out there. Mark Hodson again, Mackenzie Hoare. It's good defence from Adam Pride. Squared up the defence, but it's Hodson through. It's play on. No, it's not. He did actually pick him up, Adam Pride, I think.
It's good defence by the Aussies. Adam Pride leaving his feet there, probably not the best thing to do when they're running through from dummy half. But you notice there where New Zealand went back all the way back to the 10, 15 metre mark. Australia pressed and had them right out from the line, so they looked very comfortable in the end.
This is better shape into the interchange box here for Australia, but they're surging. Tim Glazebrook now, Zara Nicholas.
You can just see the difference in the transition in the rucking between Australia and New Zealand. Australia finding the yards very easy, whereas I think New Zealand have to work for it a little bit more.
10-5 down, Steve. New Zealand have to find something here. Jaden Benbow threatening again, almost strolls through, but he's taken well out there. I think it's from Mark Hodson.
Michael Singh here at left link, calling the shots. I'd say it's going to be a long ball.
The left to right variety, you would say, Steve?
Would say so.
Simon Lang again. Down for Catherine Stevens. That's Lang. As something of a decoy. There is a discussion around with the defence, but Lang's pretty confident, and so too the ref.
Well, they suckered me into it too. Michael Singh running the decoy there as if he was going to throw the left to right, and they did a quickie on the open side, and Langy does well to finish off there.
I'm sure you've probably seen that a few times, Steve. They probably tried that on you when they did the mixed open and men's open hit-ups.
Yeah, they certainly did. It's actually quite hard to defend. You really need the outside link to step up and make the touch for you, because you got to be in covering the...
Beautiful ball. Keegan Harris to the captain. Makes its way back from the right.
Great skill shown again by the winger there, catching and getting the ball away.
Absolutely. Gardner, very, very sharp. Very, very good hands. Keegan Harris again from half. He's dangerous. It's right to left ball, but the winger read that beautifully, Lukens, rather.
They've done very well again. Australia's shape just looks fantastic. Look very comfortable with what New Zealand are throwing at them.
You can follow the links each match on Facebook during this year's Trans-Tasman, the 32nd instalment, in fact, of the Trans-Tasman Trophy. Follow TFA on Facebook and on www.touchfootball.com.au, and please join the conversation on Twitter and Facebook. If your tweet's any good, we might even see you on screen, in fact. New Zealand now making their way. Autumn Rain Stevens, pivotal, and Mackenzie Hoare again. Morgan Patarangi, Mark Hodson. It's a good combo, but they need some troops here. It's 6-on-4 currently. Need to manage that transition a bit better, Steve.
And New Zealand had plenty of opportunities, but Australia equal to the task, not letting them get through. Keeping the deficit at 6 at the moment.
To make their way out towards Mackenzie Hoare. Down for Tina Ashworth, and it's Mackenzie Hoare again, right to left. It's a beautiful ball, but gee, that was well picked up by Leah Opie-Lukens.
Yeah, great read again.
6 more, says the ref.
Referee's found something back there, but it was better attack, I think, by the Kiwis.
It's an excellent shutdown, wasn't it?
And a great touch, a great touch to save the try there. But
Hodson into Mackenzie Hoare, into the captain. He loves that slide. It's almost a trademark signature dive, and it's paid dividends. New Zealand strike back, and this is the time to do it.
Yeah, great work by the captain there. Again, just putting the two middles under pressure, going between the two. Is sort of unsure whether they're chasing in or shutting down. So there needs to be a lot more discussion out on the field between the two middles there.
It's such a threat, isn't it? Just the slide and slide through, Steve. With that 3 or 4 metres out from the line, he's perfected the art, and he will be a real danger in years to come for the Australian teams. Yeah,
definitely. And I mean, it was, as I said, New Zealand had plenty of opportunities, so it's good for them that they've actually...
Pride Stevens, Singh.
Great touch by the number 12
it's
there.
It's a fantastic cover there from Autumn Rain Stevens. Catherine Stevens now into Adam Pride. Michael Singh, something of a rooster to the left. Oh.
That's a lot better defence by New Zealand.
New Zealand looked at, again, try to get their way out of this half and game. It's got to be now, with 10 minutes to play, you would see and say, Steve, 11-6 down. Aoife Jones again. There's Mackenzie Hoare, rather. Here come those wheels. They are jet wheels. He's lost the hat. Doesn't matter. Mark Hodson says, thank you very much. That's the time to strike. New Zealand, what a fantastic comeback.
Yeah, they've done very well there, but that started on the back of a good drive. You know, they put the Aussies under a lot of pressure, rolling back into the line, and it was an easy scoop through there. And, you know, they're not out of it yet. 11-7, 10 minutes to go, 4 tries. But, again, they need to have this strong defensive structure to hold the Australians out.
This is going to set Australia back on their heels, in fact, you would say. There we are, the General Manager of Sport Operations from Touch Football Australia, just having a little say via Twitter. Thank you, Marianne, for that little contribution. Good to have one of our great NRL players, in fact, the 2005 Churchill medalist, Scott Prince, watching on from his lounge room, I would say somewhere on the Gold Coast too. Welcome, Princey. Hope you're enjoying the telecast. 11-7 Australia, 9 to go. Jackson Mills down now. Jaden Bembo out wide to Lang. That's a great ball. Zara Nicholas equal to that task. And that seemingly 12-7, Steve. 9 to go.
Yeah, I think it's becoming way too hard now for New Zealand to get back into this game. It's a great pass by Simon Lang there, but again, great finish by Zara Nicholas, who catches the ball and gets underneath the winger.
One of the great traditions of mixed open play is to see how well the female players really stand up and be counted, but also shine. And that's absolutely the case for both these sides. Over the 2 games so far, all acquitting themselves wonderfully. A great measure of that is if you just look at this lineup in the New Zealand team, there's 2 girls out here wide for New Zealand. Autumn Rain Stevens. And in fact, New Zealand very close there through Keegan Harris.
Yeah, great touch there by Catherine Stevens, though.
Benbow and Lang. Good transition here from Justin Costello. He's the meter reader here right now. Jaden Benbow, it's a very good transition into the box. Aaron Nicholas picks up Blackwood. He'll surge along with the Aussies. Jared Townsend coming in. He will threaten. That won't happen this time. The referee sees a forward pass. We've got 7 minutes to play here at Sunshine Coast Stadium. Keegan Harris on halfway. Now is the time for New Zealand to score, and they need to assert some authority on this match now. Try scorer before, Mark Hodson, really quitting himself well. Mackenzie Hoare.
Mackenzie showing the pace there. Here he comes on the sweep. Need to
Morgan
keep it off the
Patarangi
ground.
Into Hoare. Right to left. It was a really nice little short ball, but Hodson didn't quite read that.
If he kept going the short side there, it was 2-on-1. If he kept going down the Aussies' right-hand side defence there. Come back and there's a drop ball by the number 14, Mark Hodson.
Once again, Australia. That's very, very clever play. Just ignoring the sub-box. And opting to just shift it to the opposite side so they can actually get some momentum. And they've certainly got that ascendancy here.
It's a great option because teams get used to, going down the sub-box side, so the defence gets a bit robotic, if you like, and so to change it up a bit keeps the defence on their toes and gets them to work a bit harder.
Paige Parker and Townsend. Once again, a nice little interplay. She was a very grateful recipient from a Jackson Mills pass earlier, but Townsend, he will have another say here. Tim Glazebrook from South Australia.
Mark Hodson just missing the intercept, the run away, and he's got some pace too, so it would have been interesting if he had taken that.
I think it's the intercept zone down there, Steve.
He might be right.
Michael Singh and Townsend, 2 Queenslanders going at it with a South Australian on their left. Probably fair to say, though, too, he's probably a native Queenslander. Jared Townsend trying to get that outside middle up. Referee sees the folly of that. Townsend again just shaping to try to isolate this link and outside middle, and they do. Singh and Townsend, they've got some sort of a play that, isn't it? Michael Singh goes over very easily.
It's way too easy, yeah. Just beaten to the short side again, and the coach at the back not happy, but way too easy. Just shaping a pass long like they scored last time, but Townsend stepping off the left, and Michael Singh just strolls over, puts the ball down, and makes it 13-7 with 5.5 minutes to go.
New Zealand now, Morgan Patarangi. My mistake, that's in fact Parsons now. Parsons now with Autumn Rain Stevens. Aoife Jones now looking for that illustrious leader. Aoife Jones again. It's pushing the passing here a little though. Autumn Rain Stevens can't handle that ball out wide on the link.
You can't question the effort, especially of Aoife Jones. He's had a good game, trying everything under the sun, but the Aussies' defence has just been too good and been scoring at will. And here they go again, just mixing it up, going farther side from the box and sweeping back around now.
Lang and Benbow, but just a little in front of him there. Probably just couldn't stretch out enough. May have even been called forward from Lang to Benbow perhaps. But anyway, here comes New Zealand on the surge. They'll go to the sub-box. That's another forward ball. Luke McKenzie spotted.
I think he's got him for off the mark there.
You're quite right.
Couple of steps after he got touched. So gives Australia another opportunity with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. And here comes Michael Singh again.
Opie Lukens just looking to just slow the play down here a little bit. Jaden Benbow Michael Singh ever threatening there on the outside link.
It's going to go to
Benbow
Lange,
link.
I think, again. Oh, no, try the same play.
Push through. Looked a little bit feisty in there, just around the touch. There's a few complaints from Captain Singh. Probably best to get on and play the ball from this point.
Bailey Warby just a little bit frustrated, I think, and Benbow found out about that.
Probably suggesting he can't go any further back than that white line there, Steve. Benbow again.
It'll be a similar outball to Lange out here now.
How do you see this, Steve? So, long ball from Singh.
County here to Lange.
And great little step off the left. Back to Benbow. Certainly pushed for some good space out wide. Back to the right to Singh. But Benbow now into Singh out wide. Looking to again isolate these two outside defenders. Benbow does well.
Go again.
There's
So
trouble.
someone's going to get subbed here. Referee's not happy.
Something I'm sure you wouldn't be been guilty of, Mr. Roberts.
I always ask the question, but I always ask nicely.
You have the right as captain, right?
That's right.
Well, 2 minutes left, 13-7. This has really set up the Australian campaign. Benbow now, Michael Singh, right to left.
New Zealand have got 5 defenders. I think the referees put one of the defenders to the sideline for a set of 6.
It's Benbow and Singh again. Just toying with the defence here. Bringing them up, Benbow again. Long ball to Lang. There's some space if they use it, and that's a fantastic outlet there from, looked like Paige Parker to Ellen Mortimer again. Very grateful recipient out wide, as she so often does.
Yeah, I actually think they went the wrong way, but Paige Parker, again, just showing the class, catching the ball and popping it up to a Lynn who scores, is it a 3rd try?
I think that is.
What a game they've had, so...
Second indeed, Steve, it is fair to say.
I gave her extra one for the one that she popped into to Lange earlier in the,
very
in the
good
first
back.
half.
But she's become accustomed, hasn't she, Mortimer, to that double in these pivotal test matches. And here we go again. New Zealand trying desperately to make amends here through the captain. Morgan Patarangi looking to take off from half.
Australia rightly penalised. See that when they get close to the line, they actually pull out of the touch so that New Zealand don't get the advantage to dump the ball.
Pride, great defence there. Hodson again out to Morgan Patarangi. Coco Gadget arms there from him. Just doing an instant replay to make sure the referee knew where he put it. Back to Hodson again. To the captain again. Widamu, ever-present danger, but just very good defence from Townsend and Pride there again. The talk
Better
must be
talk
very
by
strong.
Jared Townsend then. Everyone knew what he was doing there, so there was no second guessing.
Great to have comments here from former World Cup captain, former World Cup winning captain. 3 times over, it's fair to say, Steve?
3 out of the 4, yeah.
3 out of the 4.
We lost the series. I lost the series with the mix, actually, in South Africa.
One blemish. You're perhaps allowed Justin Costello with those large mitts. Offloads to Catherine Stevens. Townsend, the Aussies now with 30 seconds left. Do they
Looking
put the
too
icing
good.
on this cake?
Here's
Jackson Mills,
There's the pace
clean
I was
pair of
talking
heels.
about. Oh, he's done well there. Number 14, I think it was.
Mark
Hodson.
Hodson.
Stop the try. With 10 seconds to go once they play this ball, I think. Try and get one more try.
Mills again, inside to Pride. Defender was back. Referee happy, and that's all she wrote. 14-7 here in the second of the 3 Trans-Tasman tests in the mixed open format, and that is the series for the mixed open Australian team. What a wonderful win for them. Very, very accomplished in the end. 14-7, a very, very large scoreline, but you've got to hand credit where it's due to the New Zealanders. To any other team, you would have to say, such a highly skilled outfit, you would have to say they would always look to acquit themselves very well, but this Australian side is quite a hot side and running very hot today, Steve.
Yeah, I thought they started off a bit shaky, but, you know, they're all class coming in. Everyone, as I said earlier, knows their role and played that to perfection today. Special shout out to Paige Parker and Aline Mortimer. I thought those girls had a fantastic game. You know, on the back of obviously some great drive by Blackwood and Simon Lang. So, no, it was a classy performance by the Australians, and all credit to New Zealand, who you know, didn't lie down, and they fought to their death and clawed their way back a little bit, but the deficit was too much in the, coming into the second half.
As we see now, that's Australia played New Zealand 36 times for now 22 wins. Would you believe, taking their overall scoreline 249. Previous to this match, 255 tries to 216 against. It's quite an impressive outfit, the mixed open team. Always has been in the whole Australian contingent.
Yeah, they're very happy. All smiles down there. Pats on the back, hugs, congratulations. So yeah, they've taken the series, but they'll certainly look to go to 3-0.
The biggest win previously was in 2014, in fact, in Mudgee, when it was a 10-2 win over New Zealand. This one came very, very close with the 7-try deficit, but a high-scoring affair here, but certainly a very, very accomplished effort.
Yeah, I think it's going to set up for the men's and women's. As I said earlier, it's a nice fast track out there, and it looked a bit shaky early on with a bit of rain threatening, but now the sort of sun was out. It's gone again. It's a bit like Melbourne weather, but yeah, no, I think we'll see some tries in the both men's and women's again.
We'll be lucky enough to have, in fact, a local from the Kawana district. The former World Cup winning Australian Women's Open coach Peter Bell will be joining us in the commentary team here shortly for the next match in the series, the Women's Open, and Australia can effectively now, with that mixed open win, can effectively win the series outright in 2 divisions and the overall 9-game format. Steve, that will be something of a performance following their 9-0 rout in Auckland, New Zealand, which in fact was a very tight affair, even though the 9-0 wins would probably suggest otherwise.
Well, I think it's twice that New Zealand have taken the Trans-Tasman series. I think it was 92 the first time, in 2013. The second time, unfortunately, I was part of that. Yeah, they've done very well. And as we said earlier, they've got a lot of young players coming through, so they'll go away and this mixed team, and they'll continue to build for World Cup.
Beautiful. We're about to cross down sideline now. Just I think we have the injured captain of the mixed open team, Cameron Nichols. He'd be very, very happy, no doubt about that. And he's with our man, Anthony Jennings from Touch Football Australia down on the ground. We'll cross to them shortly.
We're here with Australian mixed captain Cameron Nichols. Cameron, congratulations. You've wrapped up the mixed division for the event. How do you feel?
Yeah, look, we're elated. It's tough not being out there through injury, but you know, we've worked really hard as a group to form a team that isn't heavily reliant on any one person. So each person that stepped onto the field had their own role and executed it quite well. You know, being somewhat of a perfectionist, I think there's some things that we can work on, but you know, the New Zealand team, they're very sharp, and each and every year they expose weaknesses that we have that help us. Well, we've got to work on those throughout the year so that they don't get the better of us. And we put a lot of hard yards in, so it's great to get the victory today. But they played extremely well, as they do each and every year, and push us to the limits. So hats off to them, but yeah, it's good to get the victory.
Fantastic. And if the women win the next game, that's overall series victory. What would that mean to you?
Look, you obviously strive for the victories, but you know, I think that they've got their own goals that they'll be reaching for, and you know, the victory will be a good byproduct if they execute what their game plan is. But as an Australian contingent, we'll all be cheering them on and getting right behind them. We're on home soil, so look, we'll be doing the right thing by them as they have by us. So yeah, we'll be cheering them on, and hopefully they do get the victory.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're now joined by the New Zealand mixed captain, Wimaru Takari. Wimaru, how did you see your performance in the match just gone?
I thought we did a lot better than last night. Obviously, we had to come out and give a better effort. congratulations to Australia. They took it to another level today. They're a class act, and always try to catch their tails. Lost the series, but a lot of our youth learnt a lot. And coming here to win has never been done, so they did their families proud, I guess.
And still the opportunity to get a win in tomorrow's game. Is there anything you may change up for tomorrow?
Just try and work a little, obviously, on the defense. Yesterday we didn't get 14 on us, so we leaked a lot too many tries, so we're playing catch up. So if we can stop the tries, we'll have a better chance, I guess. Defense. Yeah.
Thanks very much for your time.
Cheers.
Stay tuned. The Women's Open game will commence shortly.